What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a little bit of a look at a very exciting new Transformers TCG card, which frankly we haven't had time to talk about up till now. I would very much like to change that in this video. It is called Overwhelming Advantage, and it lets you do 15 damage to an enemy. That's phenomenal! Well, surely there must be some kind of catch, because we'll talk about it in a moment, but that will straight KO the majority of characters. Surely there's some kind of catch, and the answer is, well, yeah. Yeah, there very much is. You see, it reads, for each Decepticon you have on the battlefield, plan one. That is to say, you may put one card from your hand on top of your deck. When one of your characters attacks this turn, if its upgrades include at least one white, one orange, one black, one blue, and one green icon, and you flip at least one white, one orange, one black, one blue, and one green icon, do 15 damage to an enemy. This is the first truly rainbow card that we've ever actually seen. But make no mistake about it, right? This is a spectacularly difficult thing to actually pull off. Now, essentially, as it stands at the moment, and I'm expecting more coloured pips to be introduced in later waves, although it's interesting to note, we've seen a fair few cards from Wave 4 so far, and we've not had a new pip introduced. Wave 2 saw the green pip, Wave 3 saw the black pip, Wave 1 just had blue, orange, and white. I think it's fair to assume we won't get a new pip in Wave 4, but there are definitely going to be new pips in the future, I believe that wholeheartedly. So essentially, if you've got every pip represented among the upgrades attached to a particular character, and you flip every possible pip when attacking, then you do 15 damage to an enemy. What is, of course, really interesting to note here is it says an enemy, not the defending character. So this actually allows you to KO a different character on the field while attacking the one in front of you. So for argument's sake, if we're against something like, and I know it doesn't see a huge amount of play at the moment, I know it used to be very trendy, but has very much gone out of style, but just as an example, let's say you've got Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend, and you've got Nemesis Prime. Was the best deck for a little while. Two white decks, not as relevant as they used to be, unfortunately, but we still do see some. There is, Scott Landis of Vector Sigma got top 4 at Gen Con, and although it was in the sideboard, using the sideboard he could make an Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend and General Optimus Prime deck, which would very much be a 2-wide deck. Wasn't the initial way to play the deck, but with the sideboard, he would be able to do so. So, 2-wide decks are still there, they're just not like they used to be. But the example here is that Nemesis Prime has 16 health, but Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend has 14 health. So if they're both undamaged, and it probably won't be given the amount of time it will take to pull this off, but if they're both undamaged, you can use this, get a straight KO on Optimus Prime, and then be attacking into Nemesis Prime, and that's redonkulous. So this is a spectacularly powerful card, and I don't think there's much argument against the fact that it is a spectacularly powerful card. But the question is, well, how are we actually going to use this? And the answer is, we've got to go full rainbow. Okay. Now, the annoying thing here is, as it stands at the moment, and this has got to be a deliberate choice on the part of the designers, there is no way to get all 5 icons on a character as upgrades in 2 cards. It's just not possible. We do have a couple of free icon cards, but unfortunately we had Fuel Cash back in Wave 3, has orange, blue, and white. It is a star card, and it is an action, incidentally going to be very useful in terms of trying to flip all 5 icons, not going to be very useful as upgrades because it's not an upgrade. Then we had a new card revealed from Wave 4, Relentless Invasion, which is... well, it's another action. So there is no upgrade we've got with more than 2 colours, which means you are going to have to get 3 upgrades onto the same character. That's kind of awkward. Now, you do have some that are going to be able to work around it, frankly. So if we have a look at something like Dreadwing, now it is like a little mini combiner, so again, it's getting kind of awkward here. Plus, it counts as 1 character, so if you play this after combining, you only actually get plan 1 rather than plan 2. But Dreadwing does have 2 weapon, 2 armor, and 2 utility slots, which is potentially going to make it easier. Or you can try running around with characters that can cheat upgrades onto them. So, I mean, Jetfire here would be perfect, because when you flick into bot mode, you get to take an armor or utility from your scrap pile and put it on Jetfire, which is going to make it easier to get the right number on there. Problem is, Jetfire's not a Decepticon. Now, to be clear, overwhelming advantage is not for Decepticons only. You get the 15 damage if you can meet the requirement, regardless of your team makeup, but you only get the plan for Decepticons. And Jetfire ain't no Decepticons. That's a little bit of a pain, but hey-ho. But you need something like this. You could play it with tanks and use Hunker Down to cheat some armor on, and that would potentially allow you to get it rolling a little bit more easily. Or maybe you play it with specialists and play multi-tool and attach an extra upgrade. I mean, multi-tool itself only has a blue icon, but you then get to play another upgrade which could have 2 of the others on and then leave you with just 2 icons ready to go. Or maybe you go for Wave 2 Megatron, Arrogant Ruler, whereby when you flick into alt mode, you may play an extra upgrade. Because the first thing we got to worry about here is getting all of the pips on. And you can try going manually, but if your opponent knows that you're playing overwhelming advantage, then as soon as you start attaching a lot of upgrades to 1 character, your opponent is going to go after that character. Because it doesn't matter how much you flip and how many different icons you flip, you've got to also have all the different icons. So the ideal situation here is trying to cheat some upgrades on a little bit faster so that you can roll and get all 5 colors. But even when you got all 5 colors on, you need to flip all 5 colors. And this is where Plan comes in. Plan lets you put 1 card from your hand on top of your deck per plan. So here, for instance, if you've got, say, I mean, the extreme is if you go Devastator. Devastator has 6 bots that make it up, so you would be getting Plan 6. Now, they're also incredibly weak and will be KO'd really easily, probably before any of them ever get the 5 icons on. So realistically here, you're looking at kind of 2 to 4. But then you could play around with something like Decepticon Crown. The reason I like Decepticon Crown, you attach it to 1 character, but then when any of your Decepticons attack, you get Plan 1. It also has a white and a green icon, and you really here want to be trying to muck around with cards that have 2 different color icons. And then, of course, when deck building, you're going to find yourself in awkward situations. There are going to be some cards you'd rather play, but they don't give you the right mix of colours. And you're going to be looking at single colour cards going, well, if I attach that as an upgrade or if I flip it, I'm only getting 1 different colour, which means I'm 4 away from using it, 20% of the way there. Whereas a double icon card like Decepticon Crown gets me 40% of the way there. This is a spectacularly difficult to use card. You've got to go as rainbow as you can. You've got to try attaching upgrades as fast as you can, and then when they're attached, you need to get planning so that you can actually flip them. Because if you attach enough different colors of upgrades to a character and then actually attack and miss, your opponent is going to be trying to go after that character. Now, obviously, there are things that you can do to try and protect the character. Leaving them untapped, clearly a very good option. Though there are characters out there like Bumblebee, for instance, the secret or super rare from Wave 1, which can go after tapped characters. Or you can play something like Bravery onto a different character, or Stealthiness onto it, so that you can try and force your opponent to attack a different character instead. Cannot stress how awkward this is going to be, and you need to build a deck around this. This isn't a card that you just whack in your deck. This isn't marksmanship. I know I mention it a lot, but I love the card, I really do. Whereby, oh, I'm playing a blue deck, it's got a blue icon, I can just whack a copy in. Bit of cheeky damage might be fun. This is a card around which you build a deck. Now, to that end, we love the green icon because it means that we are going to get it. Either we draw into it, or we flip it while attacking or defending and use the green icon to swap it for a card in our hand. And that's fine. It's lovely knowing we're always going to have access to it at some point during the game. And we need to cycle back to this 15 damage. Because it's absolutely huge. Now, you do occasionally get a character with more than 15 health. But I mean, if we take Wave 1 as an example, Wave 1 was in the days before Combiners and Battle Masters and Micro Masters and all of that. And back in Wave 1, there were 2 characters with more than 15 health. The aforementioned Nemesis Prime, who still only had 16, so it wasn't like it was some powerhouse once you took 15 health away, and Autobot Cosmos, who was sitting there with 21. Now, obviously, all of the Combiners, when combined, have more than this. I mean, Devastator sitting there with 33 health, which is quite gigantic. And then Volcanicus comes in, we're like, oh, that's adorable. 56. And clearly here, okay, that's a lot more than 15. Although do remember that when Combiners combine, they do take the combined damage of all of your characters that you combined into it. So it may well have 15 or less health remaining, and you can get rid of it with this anyway. There's things running around like Metroplex. It's a Titan. Okay, fine. But the vast majority of regular characters, this will be a one-hit KO. And the thing is, once you've got the requisite number of different battle icons in upgrades on a creature, well, you can do this again. You can do this turn after turn. Just so long, I mean, firstly, you can get the card in your hand, but also right types of upgrades, and you flip the right things. I don't like this as much as I like Daring Escape. Daring Escape is one of these really ridiculous but oh my goodness powerful cards that I looked at and went, yes, that's the one I want to try building a deck around. This one doesn't excite me quite so much, but it really does need to be pointed out one more time. Oh my goodness, 15 damage is huge. Just don't look at the requirements. So, do you think you can make this work? Do you think this is a good card? Do you think it's viable? Do you think it's going to make its way into decks and make some waves? Or do you think it's one of these cards that looks good but is actually never going to work in practice? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Transformers and any other games that take my fancy. And do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, etc. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.